Hi, everyone. I'm children's author Janet Hoffman, and today I'm going to give you a peek into my book, The Clothesline Code. The Clothesline Code is a nonfiction picture book for ages 6 to 11. The illustrator is Tricia Mason, and the publisher is Brandy Lane Publishers. This is a lost to history story about Dabney and Lucy Ann Walker. They were an enslaved couple who came up with a secret code using laundry and a clothesline to spy for the Union Army. This is the first time this story has been told in a book. When I first started researching it, most people thought that this story was a legend. But by finding newspaper stories of the time and also looking through the diaries of an officer who served with Dabney, I found that this story was indeed true. And the book recently won a Skipping Stones Honor Award, for which I'm very grateful. The story starts with Dabney. He's intrigued by the signal flags that the Union Army used. The signal flags sent messages. They relied on letters of the alphabet for their messages. But Lucy Ann and Dabney couldn't read or write because it was illegal for enslaved people to learn to read and write. So they wanted to come up with a code that you wouldn't use letters. So they thought and thought, and finally they came up with the idea of using laundry and a clothesline. Their code had different colored shirts for each unit of the Confederate Army. And the way the clothes moved on the clothesline would signal how the troops were moving. And in order to carry out their plan, Lucy Ann had to go back into enemy territory. She got work at General Lee's headquarters so she could hear about all the things that were going on. Then she would put the clothes on the clothesline, telling these messages, and the Union camp and the Confederate camp were across the river from one another in Virginia, across the Rappahannock River. And so then Dabney would use his field glasses to see what movements were taking place. And then he'd report those to the Union officers. And they even had a way to tell if the Confederate Army was just playing a trick. These blankets pinned together down here means that the Confederates were just moving their troops to confuse the Union Army. And then at one point, the clothes just weren't moving for days. So Dabney was just beside himself with worry that maybe Lucy Ann had gotten put in jail, or maybe she even got killed. But finally, the clothes moved again, and Dabney was thrilled, of course. And they kept on with their risky message sending right up to the time that the Union Army shipped out to battle in the spring. And I'm just going to read you this last page here. With the onset of spring and good weather, it was time for General Hooker to lead his troops into battle. General Hooker had a bold plan to take the Confederate forces by surprise. Thanks to the Walkers, the Union Army was ready. General Hooker's spy unit had given him a clearer picture of the enemy than at any time since the war began. For that, he owed thanks to many, including the brave and dedicated Walkers. An officer praised the couple as being among the promptest and most reliable of General Hooker's spies. Lucy Ann and Dabney took tremendous risks to their lives in order to help others on the long journey toward freedom. Dabney shipped out with the Union Army, and then Lucy Ann was able to make it back to the Union camp. And then the afterword tells about the couple's life. They also had a daughter. Tells about the family's life after the war. They settled in Washington, D.C. And then there's also references for the books I used, the sources I used, and also references for the quotes. And this book is available in bookstores and online. And any book store would be happy to order a copy for you. It's a great gift to give to your school library, and anything that anybody can do to help get this into public and school libraries, I would appreciate so much, because I think it's such an important story for every child to know. And you can find out more about the book at my website, janethelfmanauthor.com. There's educational connections there, and you can also, through my website, you can contact me if you have any questions. So thank you for listening, and happy reading.